welcome to another episode here at Deep Mountain Security. Today I just want to go over a utility called Angry IP Scanner, and I'll post the link down below the video. But I had a couple of people ask me some questions on this today, and I figured it'd be a good thing to cover. So once again, the link's angryip.org. I'll post a link down below. If you look here on the website, you've already got an ad here that says, continue. But if you hover over it, look in the bottom left-hand corner down here, and you'll see it's googleadservices.com, and then what you want to click on is the free download or the download button. If you look down here in the left-hand corner, you'll notice that the site actually begins with angryip.org, just like it does up here. So that's how I can know that it's not an ad, and I made a video on that before, so you should watch it if you haven't. But anyways, so we're going to go ahead and download it, and there's an installer or a version that you can run on pretty much every major operating system out there. If you wanted Deb or RPM packages for your Debian or Red Hat based Linux distributions, it works on there too. But I'm running Windows right now, so we'll go ahead and use that. There's also a portable version. And so if you don't want to install anything, then you can always download the portable version. I'm just going to go with the installer real quick, just because that's what I feel like doing. But so why would you want to use this over Nmap? So Nmap's a really good utility. I've made a video of it on the past on how you can scan entire networks at a time if you want. And network's great and all, or Nmap's great and all. But sometimes it might be a little too complex or just a little too over the top for what you're doing, and you just need something simple that'll get your job done without you having too many problems. So sometimes all you're looking for are hosts, and that's when this little utility comes in handy, is when you're just trying to find live hosts. You don't really care of how many ports are open on them or what kind of services they're running or what kind of an OS they might have quite yet. We're mostly looking for hosts because when your first thing you do when you get into a new network, whether it be at your corporate environment or your home environment, you want to know what devices you have on your network. Nmap will do that, but it might be a little slow. I'm just going to go ahead and install this. I might need to install Java. Okay, so if you don't have Java, go ahead and install Java. But anyways, so sometimes, when you get on a new network, you don't always just want tons and tons of details of everything, because that'll take forever for you to go through and scan an entire range of IP addresses if you're also looking for all kinds of ports on them, specific services, and operating system, So Nmap by default, you can configure it to run faster or whatever. It's a little bit more in-depth than using a tool like this, and that's kind of why I'm showing you guys this tool right now, is because it doesn't take a lot of configuration to be able to do something really simple. So Nmap, it just has tons and tons of stuff that it looks for, and so because of that, if you do an entire CIDR range, a /24 or something even larger, a /18, 16, 12, 10, if you're getting up into stuff like that, then you're really scanning tons and tons of IP addresses, and Nmap's just going to take a million years. Okay, so not quite that long, but you get the idea. And Nmap's going to take a very long time searching for it, whereas this utility is very useful because the way it works is it does a ping scan, and so it's just trying to ping and see if everything is live or not, and that's pretty much all it looks for. So what it does is it's just looking for live hosts, and that's pretty much it. It's really simple, and my favorite part about it is that it's fast. So when I get onto a new network and I want to know what else is on the network with me, Angry IP Scanner is generally my go-to source. Then after you find hosts and stuff like that, then you can go ahead and scan those with Nmap. Do a little bit more in-depth analysis. It'll take a little bit longer, per host, but you'll save time in the long run, because if you're just start off with Nmap, then it has to run that same analysis on every single machine, whereas you might not have to run the same analysis on every single machine if you can narrow down which machines you need to scan in the first place. And I hope that kind of makes a little bit of sense. But anyways, that should be installed now. So if we go to Angry IP Scanner here, and I'll go ahead and run this. And when you get started, it's going to pull up, for the first time, it's going to pull up this little window right here, and you can kind of click next, and you can go through and you can kind of read through a little bit of detail about Angry IP Scanner and how this works. But anyways, so you'll notice that there's a couple of ways that we can scan. We can scan an IP range. There's random, so this is kind of an interesting one. I don't really do quite as often. So you give it a mask and it'll scan for a bunch of random addresses, not necessarily in order or whatever. And then you can actually import a text file. If you have a text file of, I don't know, if you had put a bunch of IP addresses in there, then it'd go through and scan all those or whatever, and you could go ahead and do that. But we'll just do an IP range for now, just for simplicity. And there's some other couple things you can do. You can set a maximum number of threads. You can also tell it what kind of a pinging method is. Is it just an ICMP echo? Are you doing a TCP probe? That's a little bit more advanced. You're probably fine just leaving it on this Windows ICMP. That should be fine. 3 ping probe packets is generally fine. Generally, you don't really need to. You can, sometimes skip that too. So generally, you can do port scans and some other advanced stuff in here. But generally speaking, as soon as you load this up, and you can just leave it at the defaults, and it's pretty much ready to go. So I can take my IP address range that I'm currently in and click on this, and that'll actually take me to my, this is the IP address of the computer that I'm currently running. Once again, there's a couple of other things over here that we can do too, and some of these will be more useful after you've already kind of scanned some stuff. But anyways, so let's just go ahead and do this whole range I'm in right here, this /24, and see if we can find anything at all. And then when you're ready to go, you can just go ahead and click on Start, and it'll go through this range, and as soon as it's done, and you can tell it hit its max threads right there. As soon as it does that, then so it'll go through the range, and it'll pop a little screen saying all done, yay. But so when that's done, it'll also tell you how many hosts it found. So we found 3. So now would be a good time to take Nmap and try and go in and say, okay, what in the world are these hosts running? What is on these ports? What interesting information might be in here? So there's another one. So this is kind of interesting right here. So, and we can verify that these are actually hosts and that they're actually up. So if I take this address right here, we can go ping, and then 192.168.75.128. That happens to be my local machine, so that's not a problem at all. It looks like I've got maybe another Windows box running right here, so we can go ahead and try pinging that too. And yep, looks like it's alive. And then if we take that second address, looks like it's also alive. So this just tells you that it's up. And this is probably my favorite thing about Angry IP Scanner, is it's just a really, really fast way to quickly scan a broad range of addresses and discover what is there and what isn't. And then from here, you can go through, and you can even sort by stuff, so that way all you're seeing is the IP addresses that you found. But anyways, so just a really quick, neat utility when you first get on a network, and this could be useful for a lot of different things, on your home network if you just want to see, and you could do this over your Wi-Fi access point in your home if you want to see if maybe other people are connecting devices. Do you recognize the host names on all your devices? Maybe there's Mary's iPad and someone's, John's iMac, and maybe there's Ben's desktop. Who knows? You can have all kinds of information in here, but what you're looking for generally is you're just looking for stuff that you don't recognize, maybe, or maybe if you see, if you know that you only have about 10 to 15 devices on your network, and so you're maybe you've got a couple of phones, a couple of laptops, your smart TV, your maybe a couple of other smart home devices, and a Google Assistant, an Alexa device, you know, you get a couple of tablets. You can easily get up to 10, 15 devices. But if you're seeing like a couple hundred devices on your network, then, you know, you might wonder what in the world is going on, and then you might want to do more analysis. This is also good in a corporate environment, both for testing firewall rules to see if you can ping something that you shouldn't be able to have access to across other subnets and VLANs. But it can also be useful to discover what you have running on your network environment in your office. If you're trying to protect an office space or another, you know, enterprise type network, this can also be really useful to discover things that shouldn't be there as well. So just quick utility to go through and discover what's there. I don't really recommend using this for doing in-depth analysis of scanning every single port and stuff like that. It's just a quick utility. If you want to do something more advanced, then I recommend using Nmap. I made an Nmap video about a week or so back, and I'll post a link to that as well. So that way you guys can watch it if you want to. But this is just a fantastic utility to quickly scan the stuff on your network. Thank you so much for watching here at Deep Mountain Security. Don't forget to tell us in the comments below what other videos you'd like to have in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day.